video for my submission of CMP 501 uh, computer network game programming module. So I have made a kind of virtual game room setup, and I'm using a server, a client, and a game application. So let me show you what the application is about. So as you can see, I've made a small tank game, but it could have been any other game. And I've used dummy assets, some barricades, and some upgrades which are in the form of barrels. So uh, so before I start, let me show you how I can launch the application. The application is in my project folder, and it is started using the command Node.js, Node virtual game server.js, but you won't have to launch it in the same way as there will be an executable. So once I launch the server, it says it is listening to port 1337, and I have configured the game application to send and communicate to that port using WebSocket. So I'll use the start button. I can see I have a message from the server, and uh, the server knows that a user is connected using the game parameter. So it knows that it is a game application. Okay, now let's launch a few clients, and if this recording goes over 5 minutes, I am going to do another recording. Um, so inside the project folder, I have the tank game application client folder, and so my client is like a controller. Okay, and you can use you need an initial name to once you start. So I'll use my name Shami, and I'll send. So you can see that that's my tank, and I am able to uh, turn the turret, and I'm also able to send messages. But you won't see the messages here because these messages ignore the movement of the turret, because I've also used the mouse button in the application. So you see a bunch of messages coming from them, and the last command. Uh, and you can use your page up and page down keys on the keyboard to navigate through that. Let's just say we added a fire, and so the last command is fire. Okay, and we can also navigate using the um, so this is basically for mobile. So obviously I'm using sensory data for moving the tank, but for now, for this I'm just going to use some commands like forward and backward, and I can obviously move my turret around. So here, okay, 1 second. And obviously the barricades are there is a lag because I'm recording, but usually there is no lag. So the server application, which is virtual game room, is also receiving these messages, and it is sending the initial state. And I will have to do another recording after this, where I will show you how I launch another application in 19 minutes. So let me try and launch another instance of the client application for now. Continuing the recording, I was about to launch another client application, but the recording stopped. So hopefully here is another application, and we'll launch it by TT. And so this guy can also move a bit or fire turrets. You can see him on the right of the screen, and I can use the inspector window to takes a minute to, or I could use the navigation button. Uh, but let's just try using the sensory data. Okay, and so under orientation, the thing is we can hold our mobile phone in bunch of different ways, and so let's just assume that the guy is holding, and I can go forward or turn. Uh, but let me show you how it actually works on the actual device. It's still responding, obviously, but it's little clumsy to do it here. But let's just take it back. Let me launch another. As I'm on the Wi-Fi, this is a problem. Let me launch another application. So I'm listening to port from the client application. I've made use of server.js, and I've made this application to host the web page. Mm, So basically, it will just get the HTTP, create an HTTP server, and send all the files with the MIME types. So that's it for the application. Let me show you. I'm already connected to the application, and I've launched this. And yeah, because I'm using HTTPS, it is giving an error, but I can. Okay, so we have, yeah, so obviously I'm going to rotate this application. Okay, so it says unable to connect to server. This is primarily because in index.html I have an index.js file game client. I have hard coded the IP address. I'll change this IP address to the IP address of computer and try to relaunch it. I'll just refresh the tab, and now I should be able to connect Wi-Fi, and I'm sending obviously. So I have a green tank here, and so as you can see, I am able to rotate the turret, and also when I move the, also you can see that when I I'm doing a bunch of recording, and that's why you can see as I move this application or I forward or I press forward. So this is what happens. We can do fire, as I'm doing the game application, and all the users that were previously connected, the three tanks, and this guy is already running because I am still using it using my controller, my and it won't stop. So I'll just make him go back. So I am still connected using my device. If but I had to stop the camera that was recording it. Hopefully, you can see that I am still using this, but obviously you can't see that. And I can just try going back or fire. The tank is already upgraded. If you see, if you see, the tank is a bit upgrade because of the stuff it has picked up. Uh, Sorry, don't turn. Okay, maybe we can just destroy this user by going to our first client, and obviously because all these applications are running on the same computer, there is a bit of lag. Not in terms of communication, because you see the server is getting all the response on time. It's just that the HTML page is a bit laggy, or we could just close this one on my mobile and try to position the turret. So it will take two bullets for it to get killed. One upgrade is less, and then another one. Uh, and let me show you the the virtual game server application and the client application. So you will be able to launch the client, another instance of the client application, or another instance of time game by just opening the executable. Executable won't work because I'm still connected to. You can launch the server.exe, and it's using port 8000, or I can just launch another, duplicate this one, and we'll launch together. Let's just resetting the application. So I'll show you what the game server actually does. So the game for our server is basically connecting to port 1337, and it is I had to create HTTPS because the orientation data needs HTTPS. So I had to do that using open command. And whenever I get messages, I check if the messages contain of type uh, of type chat, then it's just a communication between the two clients. If it is of type controller, then I send the action back to the server. Um, and this is also loading this tank game instance, which holds the user data and other methods. Of course, the game